Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for our cash tag segment, so let's bring in Andy Swan. He's a co-founder at LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Thank you.
All right, so we're talking home improvement. We got an upgrade from Lowe's today. Stock's been a steady winner here so far in 2023, up about 15%, just below S&P 500. But it was a horrible 2022 for both Home Depot and Lowe's. What kind of data are you guys seeing to support maybe or go against this upgrade today?
Yeah, I think overall it'd be fairly supportive of the upgrade. I think this is one of those lessons for investors that, you talk about 2022 being terrible. The obvious trade in 2023 is that mortgage rates are going up to, real highs, relatively speaking, up from, I think, 2.5% to over 7% in a lot of places. And so obviously, Lowe's and Home Depot stock must be struggling. Well, the point of the market is to be forward looking. And I think investors miss that. The market was looking forward in 2022 when Lowe's and Home Depot got crushed because interest rates were going to rise. So the market kind of already saw this coming and now is starting to see, the fact that rates will stabilize, housing market will pick back up at some point in the near future. And so these stocks are up. And we have data that supports this in some ways. LikeFolio data, somewhat surprisingly, even to me, is showing that home renovation mentions are up 12% on a year-over-year basis. And I really think that when we dug into this, a lot of this is just simply the fact that people realize that they're stuck in the homes that they have right now because they aren't going to move voluntarily and take on a high interest rate in a new home. So instead of, that type of expense, they're going to go ahead, bite the bullet, and improve what they're living in now. And so I think that's a potential boon for Lowe's moving forward. The other great thing that I see happening for Lowe's that we don't see happening for Wayfair or Home Depot is that Lowe's is really making its customers happier and happier every time they walk into the store. We used to really watch this battle between Lowe's and Home Depot from a consumer happiness perspective. It used to be really tight. Home Depot used to be in the lead for the most part, but now Lowe's has taken a decided advantage there. And what that tells us, and it's a consistent 2 to 5 points better than Home Depot. And what that tells us is that while things are a little bit tough, Lowe's is doing a better job of creating a great customer experience, which we think once things do loosen back up, rates start to fall, homes start to move, and these home improvement projects start to kick in, that Lowe's will be the beneficiary of those repeat customers that they earned while times were tough.
Andy, when we look at these two companies, and we cover them a lot on this show, we've always pointed out Home Depot as kind of the leader in this group, right, in that relationship. But the numbers don't always say that. I mean, if you look, Lowe's in the last 5 years is up 115%. Home Depot's up 64%. Yep. They're buying back more of their stock, more percentage than Home Depot is. And Andy, the myth that upgrading or renovating or maintaining your home is as highs and lows or goes away is just a myth. You never stop working on your home. It's recession proof. It's consistent. So that part is never going away. But Lowe's with Marvin Ellison, a Home Depot alumni, now as their CEO. This is a real competition more than it's ever been, Andy.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think, Home Depot does a fantastic job with its contractor business. I don't think that's in trouble. I think they service contractors really, really well, and Lowe's has a long way to go to catch up to that. But from a consumer perspective, from the one-off, Kevin or Andy or walking into the store and trying to figure out what to get to make this kitchen a little better or to fix this sink, Lowe's is doing a better job with all of those customers, and I think that's going to pay off, especially as we get into, we got to go out maybe 2024, 2025, but if we get into another housing or home renovation boom, then I think Lowe's could really accelerate its lead over Home Depot in terms of taking some of that market share. They're always going to be the two that battle it out for as long as I can see, but it's good to see some serious competition heating up and for there to be a little bit of a new leader of the pack.
Yeah, and Andy, I was surprised at some of your data, especially the ones, the happiness levels compared to Home Depot. Has that been flip-flopping slowly for you guys at LikeFolio as far as your data goes? Because it always seemed like that Home Depot was the leader in this space. It was the one, it was the top dog out of this duopoly. Yeah,
I think if you'd asked me a few years ago, or let's say pre-COVID, if you'd asked me, will Lowe's ever be the preferred consistent winner in terms of consumer experience over Home Depot, I would have said probably not. It's pretty consistent that Home Depot just wins this. They're always close, but used to be Home Depot 2 to 5 points ahead. Now it's Lowe's 2 to 5 points ahead. And I think that's a really big switch when you have kind of that duopoly, those two competing forces. That's where you're going to one or the other when things go wrong at home, or when you're wanting to upgrade a kitchen or bath or something like that. So one wins the customer, one loses, and right now we're seeing that shift towards Lowe's winning more of those decisions than Home Depot.
Yeah, and as far as the pro business, Lowe's has been digging into the
they're not
leadership.
winning, but they're chipping away.
Yeah.
And how about this, Tom? Here's a stat that I wanted to show Andy. In the last 5 years, Lowe's has bought back 26% of their outstanding shares. Home Depot, 12%. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is a massive number of shares they bought back.
Right. Rewarding shareholders, too, with dividend increases also and buybacks. All right. Great stuff, as always, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Andy Swan, co-founder at LikeFolio, breaking down the data for us here. And to Andy's point, I've got a relatively new house, and my better half's already like walking around going, yeah, we need to do this just this weekend. I was like, whoa.
It's an obsession. I walk around every time the kids bump a wall at my house, I'm like, that's going to have to be repainted.